Imagine this. You've been counting down for months to your dream cruise. The suitcases are packed, flights are booked, and you can already smell the ocean breeze. But just as your vacation is about to begin, the news breaks. The US government has shut down. Since October 1st, 2025, after lawmakers failed to pass the funding bill for the next fiscal year, the US government has officially shut down. To be honest, government shutdowns are nothing new. However, they always bring a certain level of inconvenience and uncertainty. This has left many travelers, including cruise passengers, wondering how this political deadlock might affect their vacation plans, particularly regarding onboard safety and their passport processing. Before diving deeper into those issues, one thing is already clear. The travel industry is certain to take a heavy hit. Hotels, airports, ports, and tourism businesses all felt the tremor. According to the U.S. Travel Association, USTA, the 2025 shutdown alone was projected to cost the nation's travel economy over $1 billion every single week. A staggering hit that includes lost revenue, wages, and related travel expenses. Across the country, the National Park Service scaled back operations. Rangers were sent home. Visitor centers closed their doors. Families visiting Washington, D.C. discovered that some of the city's most beloved landmarks and museums had limited access or were simply closed. And at airports, patience became the new currency. Delays became routine. These are not small inconveniences. They shape the rhythm of travel. Every missed flight, every canceled tour, every quiet pier that should have been bustling with visitors. To understand the scale of impact, consider this. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history, from late 2018 into 2019, lasted 35 days and caused $3 billion in permanent economic losses, according to the Congressional Budget Office. For most cruise travelers, this might sound alarming, but here's the good news. Compared to air passengers, cruisers are generally far less affected. You see, even when the government grinds to a halt, many essential operations keep running, especially the ones that keep travel and safety moving. Agencies like U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) and the Coast Guard don't stop working. These are the individuals who inspect ships, monitor ports, and ensure that every vessel entering or departing U.S. waters does so safely. The Transportation Security Administration, TSA, also keeps screening passengers at airports. So even if your flight is the first step toward your cruise, the lines might be a little longer, but your journey will go on. Back in 2024, the Department of Transportation even released a detailed list of which federal agencies continue operating during a shutdown. And that list was surprisingly reassuring. It included air traffic safety, airport inspections, and other key systems designed to keep travel running smoothly. At the ports, most workers are classified as essential personnel. That means they're still on the job, guiding ships, loading supplies, assisting passengers. So if you're sailing from Miami, Port Canaveral, or Los Angeles, you'll likely see business as usual. Ships will sail, passengers will board, and the ocean will still be waiting. But that doesn't mean everything goes untouched. Travelers might face delays in passport processing, bad news if you were planning a last-minute booking and still waiting for that little blue book to arrive in the mail. And once you arrive at your port city, you might notice something else. National parks, museums, and government-run attractions could be closed. So if you were hoping to visit a national monument or historic site before your cruise, you might find the gates locked. Still, for most cruisers, the impact of a shutdown is more of an inconvenience than a disaster. The ships keep sailing, the sunsets still look the same, and the vacation you've dreamed of, the one that's meant to take you away from the chaos, will still deliver what it promises: escape. So, what should cruisers do to minimize inconvenience when sailing during this period? Common questions that often come up include, will my sailing still take place? Will any ports be affected? What if my passport processing or airport experience is delayed? The truth is, while a government shutdown can cause disruptions, it doesn't have to derail your cruise vacation. With the right mindset, preparation, and a little flexibility, you can still enjoy your getaway while minimizing stress. The good news is that even during a federal shutdown, critical operations at U.S. ports remain active. Customs and Border Protection officers, Coast Guard personnel, and port security staff are considered essential workers. That means cruise ships will continue arriving and departing as usual, and passengers can still go through customs and embarkation processes without interruption. However, because many of these workers are required to show up without pay during a shutdown, you should expect possible delays at customs or security checkpoints. Lines may move more slowly, and some services could operate with limited staff. Build in extra time, stay calm, and remember the people assisting you are doing their best under difficult circumstances. In addition, maintaining regular communication with your cruise line is absolutely essential. Cruise lines closely monitor federal developments and will provide guidance if any significant changes occur. In the weeks leading up to your sailing, make sure to check your email, as well as your cruise line's app or official website, for updates. If the government shutdown continues for an extended period, your cruise line may issue alternative embarkation instructions or provide updated information regarding affected ports. Staying informed allows you to adapt quickly if plans change at the last minute. As for travelers' passports, this is one of the areas people often forget can be affected by a government shutdown. Processing times can slow down significantly. If your passport is set to expire within 6 months of your departure date, it's best to postpone your trip or renew it early. While regional passport agencies may remain open, reduced staffing could cause notable delays. Don't risk being denied boarding simply because your renewal didn't arrive in time. The next thing to keep in mind relates to your itinerary. If your cruise departs from or stops at U.S. ports, there's a chance that certain federally managed attractions may be temporarily closed. Before your trip, review your itinerary and identify potential alternatives. Flexibility will help you avoid disappointment and keep your vacation enjoyable, even if plans change. As I mentioned earlier, air travel can also be affected during a government shutdown. That can lead to staffing shortages, longer wait times, and occasional flight disruptions. To minimize stress, arrive early at the airport, pack light, and keep your travel documents within easy reach. It's also a good idea to download your airline's app to receive real-time updates and alerts in case of any delays. And that's what typically happens during a U.S. government shutdown. It could last longer or end sooner, but this information can truly help travelers prepare in advance and keep their trips running smoothly. If you're one of the travelers who has taken a trip since October 1st, let me know how your experience went in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates and useful insights about cruise travel. Now, moving on to another important update. Cruise ship itinerary changes due to weather. It's no secret that stormy weather can be unpredictable, and this week, Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas had to adjust its plans for the second time to avoid a strong nor'easter affecting the U.S. East Coast. The voyage in question is a 7-night sailing to the Bahamas, departing from Cape Liberty, New Jersey, on October 12, 2025. Just a few days ago, Royal Caribbean notified guests booked on this sailing that embarkation time would be moved up by 2 hours in an effort to leave port before the worst of the weather arrived. The plan was to depart around 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, instead of the originally scheduled 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, now that embarkation day has arrived, it's no longer safe to attempt an early departure, and the port of New York and New Jersey has been temporarily closed until the storm passes early next week. Meanwhile, over in Norfolk, Carnival Sunrise is also delaying its upcoming cruise due to poor weather conditions. The ship was initially scheduled to depart its home port in Virginia on Sunday, October 12th, but will now remain at sea for at least 1 to 2 extra days.